Hi, I'm Agent Orand.
And I'm also supper. And I'm eating a potato.
No, you're eating GLaDOS's life source!
Wait a minute. Is there a flash drive attached to this? No, I don't think there's a flash drive attached to that.
Oh, did you just bite into a flash drive?
Something went crunch.
Oh dear.
Sorry, GLaDOS.
I hate you. All that aside, let's play Fire Emblem 10, Path of Radiance.
Path of Radiance?
Path of...
Akatsuki no Megami!
It's Radiant Dawn, I are stupid. That's after 7 o'clock, I call it Path of Radiance. If we record after 7 in the evening, I call it Path of Radiance. If I'm gonna remember to call it Radiant Dawn, we have to do it before 7!
Okay.
Welcome back to the base! If you watch my Path of Radiance Let's Play, you kinda know what all this is about. But just to sort of rehash it, items, we can go over our characters. As you can see, I've done some item management already. That's a bit it though. I've got everyone all sort of set
No one's
up.
got so many axes.
Yes, he does. You know what, let's give one of those vulneraries to someone else who maybe has a bit more room. Ilyana, you hold on to this one.
There. You might notice that weapons and items now commingle. It's very nice.
Oh yeah, this is the new and improved. You now have 1, 2, 3, 4,
5,
6, 7 slots, which is actually less items than you could carry total weapons and items than you could carry in Path of Radiance. But now
they commingle.
They commingle, so you can carry 6 weapons in one item or whatever, which I really like. I think it works much better.
Yeah.
That's pretty much unchanged. Yeah, we've got a convoy now. Nothing much in it now. Except we got some nifty stuff here. And yeah, let's go look at the info. In town. Let's go to town.
Alright. Let
It's got 3 stars.
Alright.
It's gotta be important. We're gonna get an item or some money or something out of this. So, have you noticed? Yeah, ever since we arrived here. What should we do? I can't sense any malice. Whoever this is doesn't seem to mean us any harm. But, yeah, let's do it. Alright then. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3! Ah! Hey! I didn't know you were going to count and die in. There, now we can see your face. You're Caroline. I'm sorry. She sounds Crimean. Wait! What? My name is Micaiah. Don't be afraid. Have you gone mad? Don't tell her your name. We're on the run, remember? It's alright. She's not after us. You're funny. This is my brother, Sol. We're from Nefasa. Hi there. And you are? Meg? What are you doing out here on the edge of the desert? I'm looking for someone. Someone very important. Someone close to my heart. All by yourself? Yeah, yes. You're meeting someone way out here? I'm not sure exactly. All I know is that this is where he came before he disappeared. I thought maybe he went into the desert. What a coincidence. We're also looking for someone in the desert. Would you like to come along? Really? Are you sure? Of course. Oh, thank you. I've been so lonely since I left Crimea all on my own.
Knew it.
You came all the way from Crimea. I'm surprised you made it this far. That's it then. Welcome aboard, Meg. You're one of us now. Yay! This is fun! This is just like what my dad did! Whee! I didn't even have to go to prison! She'll be fun. We'll talk to her later. Oh, there you are. Can we have a word with you? Aimee, what's done? How may I help you? Relax, honey. I'm here to tell you about our business. You like to shop, don't you? Let me guess, you want to sell us weapons and other items, am I right? Yes, Sove knows about this. That's right. Our inventory changes depending on where we are and what time it is. But one thing is always the same. We guarantee fair prices, so stop by whenever you can. Do you carry tomes? Yup. Fire, thunder, wind, light. We've got your basics covered. My shop also has lots of staves and medicine. Oh, and I have recently made some key connections. Now I carry some very rare items. They're one of a kind and very valuable. You should come and have a look. Rare weapons, too. Honestly, you should buy them before someone else does. At these prices, they're bound to sell quickly. Well, that's our spiel. Thanks for listening. Do come by. We'll be waiting.
New feature to the shop. There's a...
Well, we'll go into that.
Yeah.
3 items, 3 stars. What do we get for this? This will be cool. Maybe they'll give us free weapons. Why, hello. Don't mind us. It won't take but a moment of your time. Yeah, hello, George. Hello, Daniel. We just wanted to tell you a little about what we can do for you. I've already told her. George will buy from us any items or weapons that we no longer need, and Daniel... Hey, excuse me, we're here to talk to Micaiah. Now, not some stuffy know-it-all. George, don't be rude. I'm sorry about that, Soth. Anyway, we just wanted to tell you about some changes we made to our business. Alright, Sam, I'll keep my mouth shut as long as Daniel does the talking. Oh, thank you. So what do you have, Daniel? Hi, thanks for asking! Thank you, George. I've got a guy who's a master blacksmith. He makes weapons you wouldn't believe, and they're not available anywhere else. Hey, thanks a lot, George. I make weapons too. Pretty good ones, if I do say so myself. It's just, you know, customs have been extremely tight lately. Raw materials are so hard to come by. Which reminds me, if you ever have weapons you don't need, would you sell them to us? Yes, please. Actually, even better, sell me your weapons and I'll give them to Daniel. Then he can smelt them down and use the steel for newer, shinier pieces. It costs some money to upgrade weapons, but hey, let's face it, it's worth the penny. It was worth the money. Owning a custom-made weapon sets you apart from the common soldier, as if having your own color scheme isn't enough. Oh, and here's a one-time only deal. I won't even charge you for materials on your first upgrade. Pretty nice, huh? Got that, Micaiah? Yeah. Thank you. Oh, one last thing. If you ever bring me a coin, I'll give you a little bonus on whatever I'm making for you. They're very rare, so be sure to hang on to them. Don't sell them to some stranger. Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Okay. You wanna, or shall I?
You do it.
Okay, so that conversation is... You don't get anything out of it in the North American version. Back in the Japanese version, forging weapons in this game worked a little differently. You didn't just pay Daniel tons of money and he forged you a weapon. You had to, get, forging tokens.
Forging points.
Forging points, which you did by selling old weapons to George,
yeah.
I guess. I'm not sure exactly how it worked, but that mechanic...
Pretty much it's like selling weapons will give Daniel the raw materials
Daniel does the forge.
Give Daniel the raw materials he needs in order to forge you new weapons.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
It makes sense. I mean, that makes sense to me, but that's not how it works in this game. So that conversation makes no sense in this game, except for the thing he said about the coin. Coins do make an effect. If you use a coin in this game,
it will give a random boost to your forged weapon.
We don't have any coins yet. Ike has a lot of coins. Maybe he would lend us one. Let's talk to Kurth. Kurth! I think I know who you are. What are you doing out here, Kurth? Hello, Micaiah. Pay me no mind, I'm just watching the desert.
Wrong voice.
Whoops!
Kurth is a voicey person of many.
He's also a ventriloquist. Pay me no mind. I'm just watching the desert. How the wind changes the landscape, the ebb and flow of the dunes, like giant swells in the ocean. I find it mesmerizing. Is this your first time in the desert? Yes. My homeland is ringed with mountains. Everything about Dayan looks new and curious to my eyes. I see. You have not asked. I'm sorry? You have not asked me who I am or where I am from. Not just you, Micaiah, but the others as well. No one seeks to know who I am. You seem not to want to talk about yourself. Am I right? Yes, quite right. That's fine, no one asks. People can tell when someone wants privacy. Many of us desire privacy, too. Because you are not our enemy. I know that much. You are kind and gentle, and that is all I need to know. Thank you. Aw, he seemed nice. And very familiar! Jorgen. Okay.
Okay.
Let's look at the shop. Armory. Hello, Mustan. You can buy bronze weapons and iron weapons here. We do want... Finally! Frickin' finally! Yes! Finally, Nolan! Have it!
Stuff!
And we also... Oh, knives. Knives are a new kind of, well, frickin' knife, but they can be used at range. So we're gonna grab one of those for... So... because it will be handy for chip down stuff. Might want to get a light tome from Micaiah, but we want to save our money for something else. Shop. Yes, we need one of those. Lara, have it and use it well. And here are the bargain box. There's always something good in here. Do you get it actually for less than you would otherwise? Or are they just the same price and you can buy them here?
But in limited quantity.
Yeah, there's only one of each of these. And I don't know if they're actually marked down or if it's just that they have different availability. Rafi's gonna look it up and he'll tell us later. Some people like to buy the Beast Killer for this next chapter. I don't think it's worth it. The Men staff could also be useful. Again, I don't think it's worth it. And neither the L-Light. Thani is better than L-Light. So don't even bother. And we already have javelins and hand axes. We don't need these. I want to save my money for something else. Sell items that I don't have.
They're not marked down.
They're not marked down, okay. I don't have anything to sell. I'm gonna keep everything right now. I might sell some vulneraries later if I need to. Forge! Yes! The forge...
Before we get into this, should we introduce the character we're forging this stuff for?
Okay. Everyone. Okay, this is gonna take a while. The name's Meg, and she is my favorite character who is not Ike. That's all you need to know about her. Moving on. I'm kidding. Meg is an armored sword, which in this game is... So in this game, the Knight class, it now comes in 3 flavors: sword, axe, and lance. And the armor swords start off using swords, and when they promote to their 2nd tier, they can also use lances, and then when they get to 3rd tier, they can use axes as well. And they specialize in swords. They can get up to double S in swords when they're at their 3rd tier.
Did we mention 3rd tier classes can get up to double S in weapon ranks? Did we mention there are 3rd tier classes?
I think people have gathered that.
Okay.
Yeah. Meg is... depending on who you ask, either the worst armor general martial unit, or if you ask me, I think she's the best, and I'll tell you why. Because Meg is not a defense strength tank and magical glass jaw. That's the male general model. That's like Braum and Gatry and Oswin, and they're good. Don't get me wrong, they are very good. But Meg is what I call the female general model. If you trained Wendy in Fire Emblem 6, if you trained Amelia in Fire Emblem 8 and promoted her to a general, that's more like what Meg's gonna be. And the female general model is... They have okay strength and defense. Like, they're not a glass jaw, but their strength and defense is not what's gonna blow them away. They are fast. They are fast... They're fast generals, and they have really good resistance, and usually they have really good luck too. So they can tank when they tank. They don't tank by just taking no damage. They tank by taking less damage
and dodging
the rest. That's what they are, and you can send them in against mages because they have a resistance stat. That's the kind of unit Meg is. I think the mistake people make with Meg is they train her and expect her to come out like Braum and Gatry, and she doesn't.
And they try to use her.
Like Braum and Gatry. And you don't use her like Braum and Gatry. You use her like you use Amelia or Wendy. On her first tier, you actually want to use her kind of like your Myrmidon. Use Aaron like your Armor Knight, and use Meg as your
she were Edward.
As though she were Edward. You'll notice
defense and less speed.
You'll notice that her bases, she's got really good Armor Knight bases. 10 strength and 10 defense at level 3 is nothing to sneeze at. And as you can see, she's got kind of lower speed and skill and resistance and luck. This will change because her growths are stacked so that her speed and luck will explode, and her strength and defense will kind of creep along. Her resistance is decent, and so is her skill. The main thing that hampers Meg, I think, the main thing that makes people call her a bad character is not that she's a bad character, it's that she's a hard-to-train character. It's that we should have gotten her on chapter 1, but instead she comes on chapter 4, and this chapter has really strong enemies, and they just get stronger from here, and so it's really hard to start training a lower leveled unit like Meg at this point. It's possible though, and if you put the effort into training her just like Leonardo, I'd say she's a bit harder to train than Leonardo. But unlike Leonardo, you are not going to have to use exploits to get her to kick ass. Really, just train her, make sure she doesn't get screwed, like, you know, restart over, you know, 2 stat level ups, but Meg's stats will explode, and by the time her levels have caught up to the rest of your characters, she will be kicking ass and taking names and putting them on a little stick that says, you know, list of people that Meg kicked their asses, you know. She'll be awesome.
She'll be pretty much an Edward with better defense.
And probably strength, too. And resistance. And luck. And probably HP. She's really good! She has the Heaven Affinity, which just gives boosts to hit, which is kind of...
Gives massive boosts to hit,
It gives massive boosts to hit. She starts off with a Cian Swords, which is great. And as you can see, she comes with her own Iron and Steel Sword. And she comes ready to go. That's really nice. She comes with the Fortune skill. This, again, people say that it's the most useless skill in the game. It's not. She is crit-proof. No one can crit her. You can come at her with 100% critical. You cannot critical her. The thing about Fortune that I think makes it not such a great skill is its cost. It has 20 cost if it's not free. And I think for just nullifying criticals, 20 cost is a bit much. I think that 15, it would be decent. But it comes free on Meg. So I say, yeah,
leave it on her.
Leave it on her. She's crit proof. You know?
Of course, one might argue that she gets stupidly high luck, which makes her crit proof already.
But her luck caps at 30. And you will fight enemies that have a higher crit chance, that have a crit chances over 30.
And besides, her luck right now, 8.
Yeah, so it's...
And you do find killer weapons fairly early on.
So yeah, it's, you know, I would recommend if you're not gonna train Meg at all, pull Fortune off of her and sell it and use the money to buy other stuff. But if you are gonna be training Meg, frickin' leave Fortune on her. And one other thing you're gonna want to do if you're gonna be training Meg, which will make your life a whole lot easier, forge. Yes, we want to forge her a sword, forge an iron sword. We are going to max out we're going to max out the might, actually, for later on. Right now, what she needs is going to be hit. Meg's biorhythm is such that when she gets into a funk, she has a really hard time hitting things. Color. We are wanting it to be pink! Yes, please.
Guys, let me introduce you to Meg. This is Meg, and she can kill you with her pinky. Yeah.
Her pinky. That is her pinky. That's all.
Well, now we're broke.
Now we're broke. I hope we get more money soon. Whee! There we go.
Now she can smack stuff really hard if she needs to.
Meg, the thing about Meg is that you basically have to feed her kills. And, you know, you're already doing that with a bunch of other characters. So you have to be on top of, you have to be a good trainer. You have to be a good training tactician to raise Meg, but Meg will pay you back. She will pay you so much back. I really recommend training Meg.
And what next? Let's see, isn't there some other stuff we need to take care of? Alright, get chest key onto Aaron.
And manage, award XP. Should we talk about how BXP works in this game? I'm not going to actually use any of it. So the way BXP works in this game, back in Path of Radiance, it was just like a normal level up.
Yeah.
And
pump some experience into a character and they level up.
And it's just like, you know, business as usual. What the game developers realized is that people could save and try that level up again and again and again until they got a perfect level up. And so they thought this was too exploitable. So
to us, I think it's legit.
I think it's legit. I mean, it's like if you're going to spend that much amount of time for a perfect level up, then you deserve that perfect level up. In this game, though, they made it so you can't do that. In this game, when you use BXP, when you give someone a BXP level up, they will only grow in 3 stats.
They will always grow.
Shush! You are guaranteed to grow in 3 stats, if possible. Unless everything is maxed, you know. And this is even more exploitable, you just do it in a different way! Because what you can do, and we're going to be demonstrating this with Leonardo pretty soon, once he maxes his skill and resistance...
On average, his level ups will be less than 3 stats per level up.
So once he's maxed his skill and resistance, we are just going to give him BXP level ups, which means he's guaranteed to grow in 3 stats.
And he's going to be growing better than he would if we were just level him up normally. On combat experience.
And this just goes on and on and on. With Aaron, you can do this with Aaron. When he maxes his strength, skill, and defense, which he can do before level 20, give him BXP level ups, and what'll happen is because his best 3 stats have already maxed, the BXP will force his weaker stats to grow. And you can do this to really even out an uneven character like Aaron. And so that's how you exploit BXP. I definitely use it. It will save Leonardo, basically.
It will make Leonardo a good unit.
Because otherwise he's just skilled and full of resist, and his resistance cap's so low, it's stupid. But then there are other characters who don't work so well. Eddie has such great growths all around that you really don't want to put BXP on him. You'll be doing him a disservice, because he should be getting more than 3 level ups a turn. Same with Nolan.
3 stats a level up.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how BXP works. Again, not using any of it now because no one's maxed anything. Skills. Do want to use this. We're going to be putting Discipline on Aaron. Because Aaron has Steel Lance, but as you can see, Discipline doubles weapon experience gained. As you can see, he's a ways away from getting C, so I'm going to stick Discipline on him so that he can get up to a C and start using that Steel Lance.
There's another thing we want to do with skills.
We do?
Yes, there is.
What? Oh, right, of course, thank you for reminding. Get that off!
Because it's pointless.
It is pointless on Leonardo, I'm sorry.
But, since this is Radiant Dawn, and removed skills turn into skill scrolls...
Have that.
Yeah.
You can actually use it. And finally, supports. Okay. Supports. The good. Let's start with the good. The good about supports is, 1, they bonuses round up instead of down. 2, you can have any character support with any other. 3, they grow really fast. And that's about it. Those are, would you think about that? Oh, and another thing that I think is also nice, you can break supports which I think in any other game that would annoy me, but in this game, because the characters all kind of get thrown to the 4 corners, I think it's really nice that they allow you to break supports and then reforge them. With
different characters.
With different characters. The bad. Characters can now only support with one other. They can only have one buddy, basically, to support with, rather than in the Path of Radiance model where you had 7 support combos that you could... 5 that you could spend anyway in any combination you wanted. You could have 5 C supports, 1 A support, 1 B support, any combination.
1 A,
2 C's, etc., etc., etc. 2 B's, 1 C. You get the idea. Here, you can only have... You can have C, B, and A with 1 pair. You can't have 3 C's, you can't have a B and a C, it's just that. The other thing, and I think this is the thing that really made me faceplant when I first found out about it, they have nerfed support conversations.
They have omitted support conversations.
Entirely. Which I think was a bad idea. I think it was a mistake, because support conversations did a lot for fleshing out these characters, and also for providing backstory. And I know that in this game they did a lot with base conversations to kind of, you know, make up for that. And then also a lot of these characters are coming back from Path of Radiance, so we know them already. They have established characters, but the characters that really suffer from this are characters like Edward and Leonardo and Nolan,
freshly introduced.
Yeah, and I always felt that Edward and Leonardo in particular, especially Edward, as awesome as his stats are, I do not care for his character because he does not have one. He's so...
He just seems to be like a moderately intelligent person who's loyal to Micaiah, and that's about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's a character in there somewhere. If he had decent support conversations, we could have found out about him, but he doesn't, so we don't. And I think that's a crying shame. And they have these like little on-screen battle conversations, which are just pitiful. It's just cringeworthy. So I'm gonna improv the on-field
convos,
because they're so I am going to write support convos on the spot for these people.
You're gonna invent character for these characters.
But for starters, I'm gonna have Edward support Nolan. This is a really good pair. Nolan has the all-powerful Earth Affinity, which will give boosts to avoid. Yes. Another good person for Nolan to support, if you want, is to support Aaron. He can't support him just yet because they need to spend a few more chapters together. But Aaron and Nolan together also make a really good team because they're both frontline units. And Edward and Nolan are a great team together. I am actually eventually going to have Laura support Aaron, because if you have them at A support, by a certain point, you'll get a very nice item. But in this chapter, because I want everyone to have just a little support is better than no support, she's going to be supporting Leonardo. Yes. I just know that will come.
The two opposite affinities, wind and water, so yay!
Yay!
A little bit to attack, a little bit to defense, and hit and avoid.
And Ileana can't support anyone. Work on that. So, yeah, and no combos. It makes me sad. Here's the library. You can look at stuff. This is kind of spoilery though, so I'm not going to go in there. Let's save our progress. And that does it for this base. When we come back, we'll be on to the next chapter, which is the doozy, and hopefully I will not tear all of my hair out trying to train Meg on it. The next chapter, if you can get Meg through this next chapter and get her some good level ups on this chapter, it gets a whole lot easier after it. But, yeah, Meg, I took some heat just for saying that I liked Meg and that I was going to train Meg, and one guy in particular, he knows who he is, really came after me. And I bitch slapped him so hard he came crawling, crying, saying, please, let's just forget about it. So we're gonna forget about it. Moving on. White Queen and moving on. I really like Meg. I really dig her. If you train her right, she's really awesome. But if you don't like her, then just shut up and don't use her. And don't come crying to me when you're on part 3 with Micaiah's chapter. I wish I had an armory knight. You had one! It's just you left her at level 3 and didn't put the love and care that she needed! You don't deserve Meg! I'm fine, really! Goodbye!